Welcome to the Sunday's Gospel Reflection. Today we are celebrating Pentecost, the descent of the Holy Spirit on the church, on us. Let me start with a short story. A black squirrel once asked a wise old owl what was the weight of a single snowflake. "Why," replied the owl, "nothing more than nothing." The squirrel then went on to tell the owl about the time when he was resting on a branch of a maple tree, counting each snowflake that came to rest on the branch he was standing on, until he reached the number 10,973,864 snowflakes. Then, with the settling of the very next flake, crack! The branch suddenly snapped, throwing the squirrel and the snow down to the ground. The squirrel stood out of the snow and said, "That was surely a whole lot of nothing." You see, we all have big dreams. One day when I will have the money, one day when I will find someone who loves me, one day when all the people of the earth will accept Jesus and start loving one another. Oh, one day when there will no longer be wars, hunger, injustice in the world. One day, one day. All well and good. The snag is how to make those dreams come true. It actually boils down to two principal ways of changing our world. And in reading today's account of the Holy Spirit, we hear and the story of how the Spirit came on the apostles through fire and wind. Well, we associate fire with force, power that transforms. It melts steel and stone, destroys forests, fields, turns countries and cities into ruins and ashes. Fire destroys anything and anyone in its path. Fire is a pure but destructive power. On the other hand, we speak of the winds of change. Reminds me of Elijah, who wanted to see God when he had that vision. A powerful wind tore the mountains and shattered the rocks, but the Lord was not in the wind. There was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. Then came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. And when Elijah heard it, he knew that God was passing by. Unlike the black squirrel counting the snowflakes, we humans count our so-called victories thanks to firepower, guns, bombs, missiles, violence, hatred. Just think of the horrendous destruction wherever war is being waged all over the world. In contrast, the squirrel on his branch patiently counted the snowflakes that weighed nothing more than nothing. Each snowflake seemed so insignificant, so irrelevant. In real life, each snowflake may be compared to every smile, every little act of kindness, every encouraging and supportive word we say to a broken person, a pat on the shoulder, a brief message of comfort or sympathy, like the gentle whisper of a light breeze ruffling our hair. All these weightless snowflakes penetrate the heart, touch our soul, and silently, gently, unnoticed, unacknowledged, they cause the real transformation that we long for ourselves and the whole world. The fire of the Holy Spirit is the fire of love. The gentle wind is the tenderness that quietly kindles the powers of love within us, blowing away our fears, suspicions, differences. The fire and the wind accomplish a life giving transformation within us. God is not present in the destructive force of fire and brimstone, nor the blind, catastrophic force of a hurricane. God does not know how to impose himself or resort to any arm twisting of his children to bring them back to order. Fear of hell terrifies everyone, but changes no one. Love cannot impose itself. It just offers itself to share the burden and walk the journey with the beloved. Like the silent snowflake, the Holy Spirit works tremendous, earth shaking transformations in silence, smallness, insignificance. God walks with people at their own pace till they themselves find themselves changing from within. This is Pentecost. When the spirit of love is sown in our hearts, germinates and grows to become the gentlest of forces that really transforms and gives new life to humanity, person by person, one by one, day by day. There is no other way for the branches of evil that sprout from our corrupt nature to crack and fall off our backs. The weight of the infinite amount of small, apparently insignificant daily acts of kindness done with great love will break them. A world on fire with conflicts, wars, hatred can only be overcome by innumerable flickering little flames of love shining from countless little people like you and me in our day to day commitments and our choices. A world blocked up behind the fears, pride, selfishness, self centeredness can only be reached by the power of God's own gentle spirit of love. Pentecost is the exciting, the challenging good news that freedom and salvation only come from a heart that says yes to the Holy Spirit, who is love itself. And that heart can only be yours and mine. However small, however insignificant and powerless we feel faced by the tsunami of evil around us. All we have to do is to let our love speak out to those around us in the seemingly insignificant ways. We will discover that every human being, of whatever race, nation, or condition, will only understand this one universal and transforming language. Let us all allow God to keep whispering through us the only three words that exist in God's dictionary: I love you. As one 8-year-old child put it, you really shouldn't say I love you unless you mean it. But if you mean it, you should say it a lot. People forget. And as the squirrel said, that is surely a whole lot of nothing. God bless you and thank you.